Today, I'm going to show you how to make your code citable using Zenodo. Zenodo has an integration with GitHub that makes creating release-based citations simple. Once a GitHub repo is connected to Zenodo, a new DOI or digital object identifier will be created every time you release a new version of your code or content. Zenodo also gives you a DOI badge that you can add to your repository's README file. Let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to Zenodo.org. If you don't already have an account, you can click on this sign up button up here, and you can sign up using your GitHub account. Now, I already have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and log in using my GitHub account. So once you're logged into Zenodo, you'll want to go up to the top and click on your account dropdown. From there, click on the GitHub option, and this is going to take you to the GitHub settings page in Zenodo. After you've logged in, you can connect the GitHub repository that you want to create a citation for to Zenodo. To do that, you need to do the following 3 things. First, you need to flip the switch. Flipping the switch turns on tracking between Zenodo and GitHub. Next, you need to create a release on GitHub to trigger Zenodo to generate a DOI for your repository. Once the DOI is created, Zenodo will provide you with a DOI badge that you can use in your documentation and your repository's README file. So you can see here that I have a handful of repositories in Zenodo that already have a blue DOI badge. The blue badge means that I've already flipped the switch and created at least one release for these repositories. If you haven't synced Zenodo with GitHub before, your list will be empty or out of date. To fix that, hit the sync button at the top of the Zenodo page to update your list of GitHub repositories. So next, let's flip the switch for the pyOpenSci lessons repository. Flipping the switch sets up syncing between GitHub and Zenodo. After flipping the switch, refresh the page and scroll up to the top where the actively synced repositories are listed. You should see the repo that you just connected there. But notice that the repo doesn't have a badge yet. Zenodo can't make a badge until you create your first GitHub release. So let's do that next. So it's time to create a GitHub release. The release is created on GitHub, but Zenodo provides a direct link to get to the GitHub release page. To get to that link, click on the repo here. Then either click on the green GitHub button or the Create a Release button to take you to GitHub. I'm going to click on the green button to go to the GitHub release page. Here, you can create a new release that will trigger Zenodo to create a DOI or digital object identifier for your repository. Great, so let's make a new release. To create a release, first, create a new tag that represents a new release or a new version of your repository. Next, give your release a title. Ideally, that title should include the release version in it. Then, provide a short description of the release. And finally, hit the Publish button to publish your release. Once you hit Publish, you'll be redirected to the archived release version of your repository. Notice that there's a .zip or zip file and a tar.gz archive representing the exact state of your repository's code and content when you made the release. A short side note. If you're creating a software release, then you may want to add release notes to the body of your release, but we'll save that for another video. Now here's where the Zenodo DOI magic begins. If you go back to Zenodo and you refresh the page that you were just on, you can see that now there's a DOI badge. If you click on the badge in Zenodo, it will give you different formats that you can copy. Copy the markdown version and then close the page. Next, let's go to GitHub. We're going to add the DOI badge that you just copied in Markdown format to the top of your README file. To make this quick, I'm going to edit the file directly in the GitHub editor. Once you've added the DOI badge to your README file, people will be able to quickly understand how to cite your package. Before we wrap up, let's talk about DOI versions. Zenodo will create a new DOI for every release that you make of your project. The Zenodo badge that we just copied represents the GitHub repository's files as they're stored in the release that we just made. You can see all of those files here in Zenodo. However, you may want to use the Cite All Versions citation that Zenodo provides. The Cite All Versions DOI will always resolve to the most current release, making it convenient for users who might want to cite the most recent version of your software. You can find the All Versions DOI badge at the bottom of your project's Zenodo landing page. Follow the steps that we just completed above using the new badge if you want to update your README file. And now you know how to create a DOI or digital object identifier for a project hosted on GitHub. If you found this video helpful, hit the subscribe button located below or give this video a thumbs up. And if you have questions or want to see other videos on open source topics, drop a comment below.